Today we will talk about learning and decision making. The first question we need you to answer is, what is learning and how does it affect decision making? The importance of learning and knowledge in a company's culture significantly impacts decision making processes. Hamdi Ulukaya, CEO of Shobani, exemplifies this by acknowledging his lack of knowledge when starting the business, highlighting the value of continuous learning. Learning leads to lasting changes in employees' skills and knowledge through experience, making their contributions more valuable. Employees with greater expertise are better equipped to make sound decisions, which is crucial for effective problem solving. Shobani emphasizes the need to prevent inexperienced employees from making poor decisions due to a lack of knowledge. However, mastering complex jobs is challenging and time-consuming. It often takes 3 months to a year for employees to perform satisfactorily, with true expertise taking even longer. Therefore, companies must prioritize enhancing learning and decision-making processes to support their employees effectively. Okay, now, why do some employees learn to make better decisions than others? The ability of some employees to make better decisions than others is largely influenced by their learning experiences, as illustrated by journalist Bill Buford's realization of his lack of expertise in a professional kitchen. Research indicates that the differences between experts and novices stem from learning rather than innate abilities. While learning itself is not directly observable, it manifests through changes in behavior that become permanent over time. There are 2 main types of knowledge. 1. Explicit knowledge. This is codified and easily communicated, including facts, theories, and procedures. It can be documented in books, manuals, and databases, making it straightforward to teach. 2. Tacit knowledge. In contrast, tacit knowledge is personal and difficult to articulate, arising from individual experiences and insights. It includes skills and practical know-how, making it more valuable but harder to transfer and teach. Both types of knowledge are complementary. Explicit knowledge can enhance tacit knowledge. For instance, a software developer might use explicit programming knowledge to apply their tacit understanding of user-friendly design. Tacit and explicit knowledge are crucial for both employees and organizations. While employees struggle to develop high levels of tacit knowledge without a foundation of explicit knowledge, the accumulation of tacit knowledge is often a company's most valuable strategic asset. Employees learn these types of knowledge primarily through reinforcement, rewards and punishments, observation, and experience. Managers can effectively encourage desirable behaviors and reduce undesirable ones using operant conditioning, a theory developed by B.F. Skinner. This approach emphasizes that individuals learn by recognizing the connection between their actions and the resulting consequences. Research indicates that people are more likely to repeat behaviors that are rewarded and less likely to engage in those that lead to negative outcomes. Thus, managers can motivate employees to adopt desired behaviors through various reinforcement methods. In the context of influencing employee behavior, a model illustrates the interplay among antecedents, behaviors, and consequences. Antecedents are events or signals preceding behaviors, such as goals, rules, or instructions, conveying expectations to employees. However, behaviors are primarily driven by consequences. Reinforcement functions as a cyclical process, where behaviors are reinforced and solidified through repetition. This mechanism motivates employees to exhibit desired behaviors and attain favorable outcomes. The model delineates how antecedents prompt behaviors, which are then followed by consequences. While antecedents set expectations and motivate, it is the consequences that predominantly shape behavior. The reinforcement process forms a continuous loop, with behavior repetition and strength contingent on sustained reinforcement. Organizations commonly deploy 4 types of consequences, referred to as the contingencies of reinforcement, to modify employee behavior effectively. The 4 contingencies of reinforcement used to modify employee behavior are: 1. Positive reinforcement. This involves rewarding a desired behavior with positive outcomes like pay increases, promotions, praise, or recognition. Positive reinforcement strengthens desired behaviors by creating a direct link between actions and rewards. 2. Negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement occurs when an unwanted outcome is removed following a desired behavior. Employees may engage in specific actions to avoid negative consequences, such as avoiding criticism or having unpleasant tasks removed due to good performance. 3. Punishment. Punishment discourages undesired behaviors by providing an unwanted consequence. For example, employees may be suspended for lateness or assigned unpleasant tasks for not following safety procedures. 4. Extinction. Extinction involves removing a consequence to diminish an undesired behavior. For instance, if employees act out to gain attention, withholding that attention reduces the behavior. Similarly, if hard work goes unacknowledged, employees may stop putting in effort. Positive and negative reinforcement are used to increase desired behaviors, while punishment and extinction aim to decrease undesired behaviors. Managers play a crucial role in shaping behavior by providing timely and meaningful consequences. This summary highlights the contingencies of reinforcement and their distinct purposes, either to increase desired behaviors or decrease unwanted ones. Managers should focus on using positive reinforcement and extinction to encourage learning and foster desired behaviors in employees. Positive reinforcement can take many forms, such as offering compliments, providing constructive feedback, giving public recognition, or organizing small celebrations. These methods motivate employees and increase the likelihood of continued positive behavior. In contrast, extinction is a useful strategy for eliminating unwanted behaviors in a non-confrontational way, reducing the risk of animosity or conflict. While punishment and negative reinforcement can also be effective, they often carry negative side effects and should be used with caution. The timing of reinforcement is crucial for behavior modification, and different reinforcement schedules can be applied to achieve the desired outcomes. According to social learning theory, individuals in organizations can learn by observing others, a process known as social learning. This method is essential for employees to acquire knowledge in organizational contexts, as they often look to their peers to determine appropriate behaviors. Behavioral modeling allows individuals to understand the relationship between actions and outcomes by observing and learning from others, such as supervisors, co-workers, or subordinates. For successful behavioral modeling, several steps are necessary, including focusing attention on appropriate models and accurately perceiving critical behaviors. Organizations may provide role models for newcomers to learn from, encouraging experienced employees to pass on both explicit and tacit knowledge. This practice reduces the learning curve for new employees and ensures the transfer of skills as older employees retire. Modeling is an ongoing process in many organizations and is particularly effective in acquiring tacit knowledge, which is challenging to convey through traditional methods. It plays a crucial role in organizational learning and knowledge transfer, complementing the reinforcement-based learning approach advocated by social learning theory. The modeling process for learning through observation consists of 4 key steps. 1. Attentional. In this phase, the learner focuses on a model and their behavior. Active engagement and attention to the model's actions are essential for effective learning. 2. Retention. This step involves the learner's ability to remember the observed behavior. Encoding the information in memory and recalling it when needed is crucial, often aided by techniques like mental rehearsal. 3. Production. Here, the learner attempts to reproduce the observed behavior. They translate stored information into action, refining their skills through practice and feedback, which may include encountering challenges. 4. Reinforcement. This phase relates to the consequences of the learner's performance. Feedback can be positive, praise or rewards, or negative, criticism or punishment, influencing the likelihood of the behavior being repeated in the future. Together, these steps outline how individuals learn by observing and imitating others. Goal orientation refers to individuals' attitudes and predispositions toward learning and performance, influencing how they approach tasks. People with a learning orientation prioritize building competence and are open to taking on new tasks, even if they experience failure. They view failure positively, as an opportunity to grow their skills and knowledge over time. In contrast, performance-oriented individuals prioritize demonstrating competence over building it. Those with a performance-prove orientation seek to show their competence to gain approval from others, while those with a performance-avoid orientation aim to avoid failure to prevent negative judgments. Performance-oriented individuals tend to focus on tasks they are already good at to avoid failure, viewing it negatively as a sign of incompetence. Research suggests that a learning orientation boosts self-confidence, feedback-seeking behavior, and performance. However, performance-prove orientation produces mixed results, and performance-avoid orientation tends to be detrimental, leading to higher anxiety and reduced learning. Managers can help foster learning by setting learning-oriented goals in training environments, which are more effective for skill development than performance-oriented goals. Employees use both explicit and tacit knowledge to make effective decisions, often through programmed decisions that become automatic because their experience allows them to quickly recognize the situation and its solution. For experts with high levels of both types of knowledge, many decisions are intuitive, arising from a gut feeling built through reinforcement, observation, and experience. While intuition can be valuable in decision-making, it is most effective when the decision-maker has significant domain expertise. In crisis situations where urgent decisions are required, intuition becomes especially important. Managers with extensive tacit knowledge are typically best equipped to handle these situations, as there may be no time for thorough evaluation of alternatives. However, the rational decision-making model, which involves a step-by-step evaluation of alternatives, is ideal when time allows. This model assumes that decision-makers have clear information, no constraints like time or money, and that they act in the organization's best interests, assumptions that are often unrealistic in real-world scenarios. Decision-making problems arise because employees don't always make rational decisions, and it's easier to second-guess decisions after they are made. Many decisions, justified at the time, may have unforeseen negative outcomes. Warren Buffett's quote, "In the business world, the rearview mirror is always clearer than the windshield," highlights how hindsight makes it easier to judge decisions. One key issue in decision-making is limited information due to bounded rationality, the idea that people lack the capacity and resources to process all available data for optimal decisions. This leads to two main problems. One, filtering and simplifying information, which causes people to overlook important details when identifying problems or evaluating alternatives. Two, satisficing, where decision makers settle for the first acceptable option instead of the best one. This simplification and selection of convenient options, though harmless for minor decisions like choosing a restaurant, can lead to significant issues when applied to critical business decisions. Faulty perceptions influence decision-making by distorting reality, as people rely on their perceptions to interpret their environment. Selective perception causes individuals to only notice aspects of their surroundings that align with their expectations, impacting their ability to recognize problems and evaluate outcomes. Projection bias occurs when people assume others think, feel, or act as they do, which can lead to flawed decisions. Social identity theory explains that people categorize others based on group memberships, often leading to stereotyping, which can result in unfair judgments. Stereotyping can lead to workplace discrimination, which companies aim to address through diversity training. Heuristics, or simple decision-making shortcuts, often help, but can also lead to errors like availability bias, where people base decisions on easily recalled information, sometimes skewing judgments. Despite the potential for biases, awareness of these errors can help reduce their impact, enabling better decision-making in both personal and professional contexts. Faulty attributions play a significant role in decision-making processes, influencing how individuals interpret behaviors and events. When observing others' actions, people tend to attribute outcomes either internally, due to personal traits or abilities, or externally, due to situational factors. The fundamental attribution error highlights the tendency to overemphasize internal attributions for others' behaviors. Conversely, the self-serving bias leads individuals to credit their successes to internal factors and failures to external factors. Cultural differences can influence attribution patterns. A model of attribution processes suggests that familiarity with a person can impact the decision-making framework. By considering consensus, distinctiveness, and consistency, individuals can determine whether to make internal or external attributions. Low consensus, low distinctiveness, and high consistency may lead to internal attributions, while high consensus, high distinctiveness, and low consistency may lead to external attributions. Understanding these attribution processes can help individuals make more accurate judgments about others' behaviors and outcomes. Escalation of commitment involves persisting with a failing course of action despite clear indications of failure. This phenomenon is marked by a reluctance to abandon decisions due to factors like a desire to avoid appearing incompetent or an unwillingness to admit mistakes. Decision makers often escalate commitment when significant resources have been invested, and the project seems near completion. Research suggests that changing leadership can help break this cycle. An illustrative case is United Airlines' costly baggage handling system at Denver International Airport. Originally budgeted at $186 million, the system faced delays and technical issues, leading costs to soar with minimal functionality. Despite years of problems, United continued using the system exclusively until finally cutting losses after a decade of inefficiency. Similarly, California's high-speed rail project experienced escalating costs, reaching $100 billion from an initial $33 billion, with pressure to justify the investment despite mounting expenses. To combat escalation of commitment, recent studies advise focusing on potential gains from moving on rather than fixating on losses. By shifting the perspective to future benefits, decision-makers can reduce the likelihood of persisting with unsuccessful ventures. Okay, now the important question we will discuss is, how does learning affect job performance and organizational commitment? The integrative model of organizational behavior, OB, suggests that learning does have a significant impact on job performance and organizational commitment. Research evidence summarized in this figure indicates that learning influences job performance primarily through its correlation with task performance. Adequate job knowledge is essential for fulfilling job duties effectively. And while the depicted correlation between learning and task performance may be conservative due to a focus on explicit knowledge, tacit knowledge also plays a crucial role in performance. However, learning shows only a weak relationship with organizational commitment. While higher job knowledge levels can lead to a slight increase in emotional attachment to the organization, the link is not as strong as with job performance. Organizations promoting learning may attract better candidates, but the actual uptake of learning opportunities and knowledge acquisition by employees can differ. Additionally, employees with higher expertise levels may become more marketable, potentially reducing their continuance commitment to the organization. The last question we will discuss is, what steps can organizations take to foster learning? Companies are increasingly emphasizing the transfer of knowledge from experienced employees to younger counterparts, using methods like behavior modeling training, mentorship programs, and gradual retirement transitions. Trust is key in facilitating the exchange of tacit information among co-workers. For expatriates, companies utilize mobility experts to aid in cultural adaptation. Additionally, formal mentoring programs and mobile apps are used to enhance knowledge sharing. The success of these knowledge transfer initiatives hinges on the concept of transfer of training, where skills learned during training are effectively applied in the workplace, creating a supportive environment for knowledge transfer, including managerial support, peer collaboration, and opportunities for practice, is vital. Companies like KitchenAid prioritize training for all employees to ensure organizational success through effective knowledge transfer.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.